this state will need a lot of prayers. So we have sent him to Jerusalem to pray for us. The Honorable Madam Speaker of Oyo State House of Assembly, the Chief Judge of Oyo State, honorable members of the House of Assembly, members of the Oyo State Executive Council, leaders of our great party, the Action Congress of Nigeria, your Royal Highnesses and other traditional rulers, members of Oyo State Socio-Economic Management Team, OSEMA, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gladdens my heart to stand before you today to present the year 2012 budget proposal for your state, tagged Budget of Restoration, for consideration by the Honorable House. In my view, the content and structure of the proposal have captured, as far as possible, our shared vision for our dear state. We are all aware of the enormous challenges which this administration was confronted with on assumption of office in May 2011. With your steadfast support in various forms, as well as divine guidance, we have been able to surmount these challenges to a laudable level. We are now concentrating our efforts towards putting the state on a sound footing with a view to restoring it to its pace-setter status under the auspices of our transformation agenda. Like in any other change process, we have escaped some initial challenges. However, we are unrelenting in effecting the desired changes, without which these laudable aspirations for the state may not be realizable. I need to state that sacrifice will be required from all concerned, especially the administrative and political leadership, in our joint efforts towards restoring the state. It is by so doing that we can reposition it adequately for the developmental challenges ahead of us. Otherwise, we will be jeopardizing the future of the state and our people, especially the generations unborn. Given the antecedents of our state as the cradle of civilized and democratic governance in Nigeria, I have no doubt that I can count on your support as we embark on the journey to this desired destination. Honorable members of the House, Madam Speaker, let me now review the budget performance for 2011. In order to put the year 2012 budget proposals in proper perspective, we need to highlight the performance of the state in the preceding years. You will also recall that we have now adopted a medium-term planning and budgeting framework. Hence, I will highlight the performance of the state over the past 3 fiscal years, from 2009 to 2011. The highlights are presented in the attached table 1, which will be circulated soon. The details appear revealing. For example, we observed that the budget performance of the state was 44.07% in 2009, 43.05% in 2010, and 46.68% in 2011. These respective expenditure performance levels were 46.51%, 42.7%, and 39.76% for 2009, 2010, and 2011 respectively. This suggests a steady decline in in the state during the period under review. The embarrassingly low performances of some inflow items, such as capital receipts, suggest low degree of realism of these projections. This scenario will be truncated by my administration by ensuring a higher degree of realism as a means of conferring legitimacy upon and instilling public confidence in the state's economic policies and initiatives. Available evidence also indicates low quality of public expenditure, characterized by bunching of capital expenditures, massive wastages, as well as leakages in public revenue. The level of value for money in public outlay was anything but undesirable for a state that is desirous of reclaiming its pace-setter status. We are therefore determined to make the desired difference in the fiscal operations of the state during our tenure. Our performances, we came in 29th of May 2011. Madam Speaker, we are happy to state that this administration has made significant improvements in the quality of the state's fiscal operations since we came into power on May 29, 2011. We have consolidated a new orientation towards mainstreaming people as the beginning and the end of any legitimate and credible economic policy process. We have also enhanced the level and quality of participation in economic and other public policies, thereby fostering the initiation and implementation of people-centered programs and projects. Towards this end, we proposed a supplementary budget of 14.5 billion to take care of people-centered projects not provided for in the original 2011 budget, or for those which previous provisions had been exhausted under questionable circumstances. Our deliverables to the people from our public outlay since can be attested to by all objective observers. Some of these are highlighted below. 1. Institutional reforms. We believe in the existence of strong and appropriate institutions as a necessary condition for good governance and commendable economic performance. Consequently, our administration commenced with the restructuring of the ministries. This resulted in the restructuring of the old ministries, leading to the creation of 4 new ones to cater for specific major sectors of the state. These new ministries are environment and habitat, economic planning and budgeting, physical planning, and water resources. Similarly, to reflect the new priorities of our administration in favor of substantial investment flows and trade promotion, the old Ministry of Commerce and Industry was restructured into a Ministry of Trade, Investment, and Cooperatives. Furthermore, we realigned the functions and schedules of duties with a view to eliminating overlaps and duplicating of activities among the ministries. 2. Good governance and strategic alliances. We have commenced the institution of processes and systems to ensure popular participation, transparency, and accountability in public governance. We are developing and drawing strategic alliances with both the local and international development communities, which was at the lowest ebb at the time we came to power in May 2011. Our efforts in this direction have started yielding good results, with reliable promises of assistance from some international development and financial institutions. This is in addition to good prospects of attracting private, domestic, and foreign inflows into the state. A notable example was the signing of Memorandum of Understanding with the federal government towards the accelerated development of Okerete Transborder Market, which will serve the whole ECOWAS and Central African region with the potential of generating over 1 million jobs at the onset. Discussions have reached advanced stages with other notable institutions such as Bank of Industry and Islamic Development Bank. Others include the World Bank, African Development Bank, and United Nations agencies, among others. 3. E-governance. We are mainstreaming e-governance in all phases of our operations. This is to make us conform with the best practice in democratic governance and to reduce lead time and loss of man hours and resources of current system in place. It will also minimize person-to-person contact, which sometimes breeds corruption in public service delivery. Madam Speaker, the recent flood disaster signaled our vulnerability to global warming and other environmental degradation. Our local contribution, in case you don't know, on page 7, our local contribution to this malaise became known to all and has necessitated the need to be environmentally responsible. It also underscored the hitherto lack of adequate urban planning system, lack of good environmental management policies, and absence of rescue operational facilities. We are addressing all these yearning gaps. 4. Peace and security. The relative peace and security being enjoyed in the state in the past months has been through some of our recent efforts. We are, however, not resting on our horse. In connection with this, the state recently introduced the Operation Bust with the inauguration of the Joint Patrol Squad to further guarantee the safety of lives and property in the state. We have also restored relative peace to the state through our ongoing efforts towards resolving the NURTW crisis. Health services. We have launched a free health mission where we have already provided free health medical checks and treatments to over 65,000 people across the state. This will be a continuous exercise. In addition, we have ensured continuity of immunization against childhood diseases such as measles, polio, and so on and so forth. On wealth creation and economic empowerment, we created 20,000 jobs under the YES-O scheme. YES-O stands for Youth Empowerment Scheme for your state. We are launching today 1,000 Keke Ajumoshi to address the challenges of unemployment, ensuring safety on our roads, and crime prevention and control in our society. Environment and habitat. We have commenced reorientation of the public through the weekly Thursday environmental sanitation program, resulting in cleaner and healthier environment. We have also commenced preemptive comprehensive program against future flooding. On education, we have reduced tuition fees of tertiary institutions by a considerable percentage, in some cases as much as 50%. We have also commenced payment of WAEC fees and provision of extra coaching for final year students. In addition, we have commenced prompt payment of teacher salaries on or before the 25th. In fact, as I'm speaking to you, many people are already receiving their salary for December. On infrastructure, completed the ICT Center to provide access to world-class information technology to the people of Oyo State. The illiterates of tomorrow are not those who cannot read and write. They are those who cannot use computer. And we don't want to breed illiterates in Oyo State. It will also facilitate the timely implementation of the e-governance program of this administration. We are effecting the rehabilitation of 44 roads in the state through direct labor. Similarly, we have awarded contracts for major rehabilitation and construction of 50 roads across the state. This will make a total of 94 roads that we are rehabilitating currently in Oyo State. This, we hope, will boost production and commercial activities in the state, as well as improve safety on our roads. We have awarded contract for the construction of a flyover at Mokola as part of the ongoing efforts to address the traffic problems. We are currently rehabilitating and restructuring motor parks and terminals in order to reduce the various mini parks scattered all over the state, decongest our highways, and increase safety of lives. On staff development and welfare, we have been emphasizing capacity building of our workforce in order for them to be able to discharge their expected function creditably. We promise that this will be an ongoing policy until we have a workforce that is first among others and also able and willing to evolve and productively manage a private sector-led Oyo State economy, in order that we may have long-term pool of efficient and effective workforce. We are focusing on restoring the glorious past of our educational standard by significantly deploying resources to this important sector for our tomorrow. In addition, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to enforcing prompt payment of salaries not later than 25th of every month, we have already effected the payment of 13th-month salary as bonus of the session. Madam Speaker, I want to state that all this could be achieved because this August House approved our supplementary appropriation request, in addition to your support in various ways, for which we thank you. We also thank you for this spirit of purposeful partnership for the overall interest of our people and our state. Madam Speaker, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the 2012 budget proposals. Against the background amplified above, the 2012 budget proposals have been guided by our desire to restore, to transform, and reposition the state to its former pace-setter status over the medium term. The 2012 fiscal year will therefore focus on laying the foundation to this restructuring. Hence, is being tagged as the budget of restoration. What is our policy, trust, and philosophy? In line with the above, we have anchored the 2012 budgetary proposals on some policy, trust, and philosophy. These include, but are not limited to, the following. 1. Prioritization and calendarization of capital budget implementation. 2. Entrenching value chain approach to sectoral development, such as in agriculture, investment promotion, and so on. 3. Mainstreaming administrative and independent monitoring and evaluation of budget implementation maximizing value for money on public outlay, thereby maximizing the resultant positive effects on the lives of the citizenry. 4. Realism of budgetary proposals will remain our watchword. 5. Institutionalization of e-governance through ingenious application of modern information technology as a means of minimizing the menace of corruption, as well as maximizing the productivity of the workforce. 6. Mainstreaming the benefits of public-private partnership in the provision of adequate semi-public goods and services. 7. Emphasis on environmental-friendly, sustainable public policies and economic governance processes. And 8. Mobilizing resources from eligible sources towards the generation of self-financing but development-inducing investment flows in the state. What is the size of our budget? We are presenting a total budget of 160 billion. That is 160.6 billion naira, representing an increase of 8.4% over the initial 2011 budget. Of this total, the current expenditure amounts to 72.7 billion naira, which represents 45.3%. The capital expenditure of 87.9 billion naira represents 54.7% of the budget. This is a significant improvement over 76.4% and 23.6% of recurring and capital expenditure for 2011, respectively. Our revenue estimate. Our revenue estimate of 110 billion naira is a decrease of 32.4% compared to 163 billion naira approved in the 2011 estimates. This lower projection was meant to truncate the culture of bloated, unrealistic, and unrealizable revenue projections that has been the hallmark of the state's fiscal operations as noted earlier. Our analysis of budget performance in recent years has shown that the performance is low. This poor performance is exacerbated by low spending of capital expenditure. No state that focuses on consumptive items can grow, which explains our undesirable state of affairs, which this administration inherited. If we want to break the vicious cycle of underdevelopment, we have to take the bull by the horns to focus on capital expenditure that will be able to secure development that we are all craving for. Our financing strategy will be to increase IGR penetration by extending our tax net to those that are hitherto outside the net. We will come back to this house to give us legislative muscle, not only on taxation, but on other sundry regulatory issues that are due for review. We will also need to raise bonds to cover financing the deficit identified above. Deficit financing. The analysis above shows a proposed deficit of 50.16 billion. We intend to finance this through the issuance of bonds from the capital market, from PPP, and other financing options. The reasonableness of this proposal is not far-fetched. For instance, the proposed bond issue will be used to finance specific flagship projects as well as some critical sectors, all of which will facilitate significant growth of the state's economy. More importantly, a large portion of the beneficiary projects are expected to be self-financing. What are the priority sectors? The structure of 2012 budgetary proposal reflects The relative allocations reflect the following priorities. 1, the economic sector, including infrastructure. We have allocated 49.4%. 2, the social services sector, 20.9%. 3, general administration, 16.66%. 4, regional development, 13.1%. The heavy percentage of 70.39%, that is the addition of economic sector and social service sector, of the total budget allocated to the economic and social service sectors underscore the state government's determination to pursue a people-centered, employment-driven economic agenda. We consider this strategy as the best antidote to the of poverty among our people. The Honorable Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budgeting will present a detailed analysis of the state's 2012 approved budget at a public forum in due course. Conclusion. Madam Speaker, esteemed honorable members, our royal fathers, our party leaders, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the outgoing year posed several challenges to our administration. Incidentally, this has provided a rallying point for purposeful partnership amongst the executive, legislators, and the leaders, as well as the people of Oyo State, which enabled us to surmount many of these challenges. For this, I want to publicly, profoundly express my gratitude to the leadership and members of the State House of Assembly, as well as other key stakeholders. Our royal fathers, our community leaders, leaders of our parties, religious leaders, the masses, the students, the public have also given us support, for which we shall always remember you. I look forward to counting on your continued support in the years ahead. The year 2012 budget has been carefully structured towards laying a solid foundation for the sustainable restoration of the lost glory of our dear state. I therefore solicit your support for effective, efficient, and result-oriented implementation. Madam Speaker, honorable members of the House of Assembly, it is with great pleasure and delight that I hereby present this 2012 Oyo State Budget of Restoration for your consideration and timely passage. I wish all the people of Oyo State Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year in advance. God bless, Madam Speaker. God bless, Madam Speaker. God bless the honorable members of this great House of Assembly. God bless our royal fathers, our leaders. God bless this government and the good people of our state. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay.